Come with me if you want to live.
Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
This is it. Don't get scared.
Hey there, and welcome back to a brand new Flickin' live show. This is it. Don't get scared now. And there's only a few magical movie topics I want to dive into today before we can get into your glorious questions. And feel free to ask anything and everything that you want to right now. And along the way, as we talk about some of these random topics, feel free to chime in as well, because I want to know what you guys are thinking. And also, this just occurred to me before going live about 5 minutes ago that Netflix is about to start their TUDUM live presentation where they possibly just might show the new Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. So if they do in fact show that, I have it playing right beside me, and if they do show the new Stranger Things teaser trailer, please scream at me in the comments section and we will watch it live together, and we'll talk all about it. But really, that's the only thing I want to see from this Netflix presentation is the new Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. Give it to me now. If you kill Steve, I'm going to riot. All right, how are you guys doing? How's it going? Any big plans this Saturday? So without further ado, grab your popcorn, something salty to eat, and I'm going to open up this delicious caffeinated beverage as we dive into the movie topics, and it's going to be a good time. And you guys are already killing it with the questions, so thank you for that. I think we should just dive into some of these questions here real quick before we dive into the topics. I was really excited to talk about Sydney Sweeney's Bathwater. So if you guys just want to hang on tight, we can get there, okay? All right, so the first question of the night comes from the movie guy, who says, I hope you start after I'm done watching Batman and Robin. This movie is wonderfully bad and awesome at the same time. It's all of those things. Batman and Robin is best described as a fever dream. You don't know if it was real or fake, and the fact that it exists in reality, it happened. This movie had like an $89 million budget. It exists, and I think we should all be grateful for it after the fact. But even as a kid, when I first watched Batman and Robin, and going into it, I was a huge Michael Keaton Batman fan. But when I watched Batman and Robin, even though Batman Forever was a little bit kooky and zany from Joel Schumacher, Batman and Robin pushed the limitations of what you should do in cinema. It essentially has been best described as an hour and 45-minute toy commercial, and I think that's the best representation of that film. There's a lot of nipples. There's some I was going to say something else. But there's a lot of cow pieces and cod pieces, and it's a terrible movie, but I quite enjoy Mr. Freeze's puns. The next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson, who says, I root for Walter Goggins' character in every movie he's in. No expectations. You got me talking politics. I didn't wanna. I love me some Walter Goggins. My favorite performance from him is The Hateful Eight. That is the movie that sort of made me take notice of Walter Goggins, and I always enjoyed his character from Django Unchained from 2012 as well, or was that 2011? I'm gonna go 2012. But I love me some Walter Goggins. Great actor, great character actor too. All right, so let's just dive into some of these topics real quick, and the first one I want to dive into is, well, I think we all want to dive into it, is there's an upcoming soap called Sydney Sweeney's Bathwater from Dr. Squatch. Now, years ago, and I can find it here if you'd like me to show you. Me in the bathtub here. What did I do this in? Uncharted Flick Pick. Years ago, I did a Dr. Squatch promo where I, in fact, took a shower in my promo portion of the video promoting Dr. Squatch soap. It is good soap. I quite enjoy it. It's good stuff. But let me see if I can find it here. Oh, here I am. So, yeah, this is a video I did for Dr. Squatch a couple years ago. And that's me, yep. Now, had I had Sydney Sweeney's Bathwater soap, this probably would have been a more enjoyable experience. Except now you're getting my Bathwater soap. And if you guys would like me to bottle that up and put it in a used Gatorade bottle, I can ship it to you for $19.95. Free shipping, actually. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. But anyway, so all I'm saying is I was way ahead of the game with my Bathwater soap. But yeah, Dr. Squatch is good company. I'd love to promote the Sydney Sweeney Bathwater soap, just putting it out there. But when it comes to this Bathwater soap, I think this is a brilliant marketing move from Dr. Squatch. And keep in mind, their main demographic are dudes. So this is really appealing to all of us sycophants, us, I don't want to say perverts. I'm just saying this is a great marketing tactic when you have a dude's soap line, okay? And now keep in mind, I think they're only selling like you have to be a grand prize winner to win the actual Bathwater soap. So there's that. But anyway, I just think that's really interesting. And from a marketing standpoint, I think it's brilliant. But if I can buy it or find it on the shelf, now I know it's not going to be the actual Bathwater, but if I can find it, I will buy it and maybe do a review for it in the shower, nevertheless. So let's go to the next topic here real quick before it gets too weird. And the next thing I want to quickly talk about is a new movie I watched the other day called Dangerous Animals. Here's my quick review I put on X. I said Dangerous Animals was a bloody good time, a self-aware B-horror thriller about a serial killer with a shark fetish. It's true. Jai Courtney chews up the scenery as a deranged, darkly hilarious villain in a gory, tense, and absolute blast of a movie. Yeah, if you have not seen Dangerous Animals, I highly recommend watching this movie. Now, I'm a sucker for a good shark movie, and anytime there's going to be a shark in a movie, I'm going to check it out. Good or bad, I will be there to check it out. And when it comes to this film, I had no expectations. And keep in mind, this is a Shudder movie. So it has a very limited budget. And I have never been a big fan of Jai Courtney. Never have. But I will say, Dangerous Animals, when he's playing this deranged sociopath who is really obsessed with sharks and murdering people with sharks and setting up a little VHS camcorder to record his activities, I liked him as this character. He definitely brought very strong Captain Boomerang vibes from Suicide Squad into this movie. And so if you haven't checked it out, I think this is a fun summer thriller. I liked the lead actress quite a bit. She plays this sort of... best way to describe her is she is emotionally unavailable, right? Sort of, kind of. And she has like a tough external shell, and she likes to go surfing. And watching her as sort of the protagonist of the movie, I enjoyed her performance. I thought she was great. Jai Courtney was a lot of fun to watch, and it's a fun thriller. It's just a good summertime movie, right? This is the perfect type of movie you watch at midnight on a Saturday when you have some frozen pizza. So if you haven't watched this, highly recommend it. Biggest surprise of the year for me when it comes to movies. And would I go so far as to say Dangerous Animals? I keep wanting to call this movie Dangerous Creatures. But anyway, Dangerous Animals it might just be in my current top 10 of the year. Now, keep in mind, it's only late May. Tomorrow is June. But I really enjoyed this. Some of my complaints, though, with the film, if I had to give it my nitpicky critical overview, is I think it's a very competent, well-shot movie, but it's very standard. And I think if they had interjected some like different style choices with the camera movement to give it a little more of a vibe, especially some of the underwater shots, I think that would have helped it kind of stand apart from just being like a generic thriller type movie, but really that's my biggest nitpick with the movie. Highly recommend it. Check it out. All right. The next main topic I want to talk about on this live show, and if you guys have any thoughts on these movies, please let me know. Fear of the Reaper 76 says Squid Games Season 3 seems to be first. Yeah, I have it right here. Hey, I'm looking forward to Squid Game Season 3. Give it to me right now. I think it comes out, June 26th, 27th? Oh gosh, they're doing a dance routine. I don't care about that. Okay. But whenever Stranger Things goes down, we will talk about it. All right, the next main topic I want to talk about very, very quickly tonight and I got the shirt on right here. Sweep the leg. Yes, sensei. Put him in a body bag. Okay. The next main topic we're going to talk about really, really quick is Karate Kid Legends, the newest Karate Kid movie. I don't even know if I think this is better than the Jaden Smith Karate Kid remake from 2010. Now, I had recently went back and rewatched that movie, and Jaden Smith is almost unbearable. His character is just annoying. He's like a whiny little kid. You just want to roundhouse kick him in the head and knock his dreadlocks out, or his cornrows, or whatever he had going on. But everything around, I like the location. I like Jackie Chan as the new Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Han in the movie. But when it comes to this new Karate Kid movie, I think it had some good ideas, but the execution was all over the place. It's a mishmash of ideas and concepts, but none of them are all that well presented. And this film has multiple subplots that just waste your time when you watch the movie. Now, I have a dedicated review of this over on the Flickpick channel, so go check it out if you want to watch that video. But just to wrap up my thoughts on this movie, there is a subplot with Joshua Jackson, who I have not seen in a movie since Mighty Ducks 2 in 1994. And he plays this over-the-hill pizza shop owner who's also the father of the romantic love interest of the Karate Kid. But also, he's not only a pizza shop owner, he used to be a boxer. And not only that, he owes money all over town to loan sharks. So at one point in this film, it stops being a Karate Kid movie and then turns into the Pizza Guy movie, where the Karate Kid trains this pizza shop owner kung fu that somehow helps him in a boxing match to make some money to pay off loan sharks. So that's a subplot that happens, and then when it's over, that's it, and then we move on. We go to the next thing. It was really bizarre. It almost felt like the first draft of the script, and they were like, you know what? Let's not make it about a pizza shop guy. Let's still have a kid in this movie. But they still left that original idea in there. It's just bizarre, to say the least. And on a quick side note, my wife had never seen the original Karate Kid from 1984. And before we watched Karate Kid Legends, I had to show it to her, because your first Karate Kid experience cannot be Karate Kid Legends. So she enjoyed it. And just rewatching Karate Kid for probably the 129th time in my life, I appreciated it even more, because when you step back and you look at that movie or go back and revisit it, there are sequences in that film that are just so beautifully shot. The music, the score, which is the same thing. But there are moments between Mr. Miyagi and Danielson. And it's just so riveting and compelling when you watch their dynamic and just some of their line delivery, and you could not replicate the things that they did. And it makes sense that it's this timeless classic 40 years later. Just watching it again made me appreciate it so much. And plus, I've always stood by this. I've always sort of been on the side of Johnny Lawrence. Some people call him a douchebag. Some people call him an asshole. Some people call him the bully of the movie, the antagonist. Hey, Johnny Lawrence just seemed like a dude I'd hang out with. Now, when they start beating the shit out of Daniel LaRusso and the skeleton masks, maybe they take it a little bit too far. But at the same time, don't forget, Daniel antagonized them by taking a water hose and getting Johnny wet when he was trying to get high in the bathroom stall. All right? You play with fire, you get burned, Daniel. Remember that. So I still enjoy the movie. That's my point. All right, and then the last topic, really, I was going to talk about was the live TUDUM on Netflix right now, but they're just sort of talking about Squid Games right now. So hey, whenever Stranger Things goes down, we will talk all about it, and please scream at me in the chat whenever that happens. All right, so let's dive into some of your questions, and you guys are killing it already. We got Chris Solomon here. How's it going, man? How are you? We got James Doge here. Hello, John. Hope you're having a great weekend. I'm having a pretty good day. You know, I will tell you this. I went to the gym for the first time in a very long time earlier today with my wife. And what I do at the gym now is I take my Apple Watch, I set a timer for 30 minutes. And I have a goal, like a total calorie goal to burn, but I just work out at a nice pace for 30 minutes. I'm in, I'm out, and it feels pretty good. I'm fairly certain I will be sore as shit tomorrow because I worked the biceps and the triceps today. Check that out. Huh? Check it out. Look at it. Look at it. So yeah, it was a good day. How are you guys doing? How's your weekend going? Let me know. Comment it down below. Any interesting plans? Any insights? Let me know. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from... Let's back up. Let's back way up. The next one's coming from DJ Run, who says, originally, Shawshank Redemption ended with Morgan Freeman on the bus and did not have the beach ending. Do you think that would have made the movie better? I don't mind slightly ambiguous endings to a certain degree, but for me, for Shawshank Redemption, I feel like after you go through that deep, dark, gloomy journey that Andy Dufresne went on for 20 years in prison, the audience needed that relief. They needed that movie to end in the sunlight with two lifelong friends embracing each other on the sandy white beaches in Mexico with that crusty old boat Andy Dufresne was working on. So for me, I think that was the right cinematic ending to The Shawshank Redemption. I hope that was a fulfilling answer, because that ending was very fulfilling. That's my take on it. I think that was the right call. Lee B. Film says, how would you rank the main 4 American Pie films? Are the spin-offs worth watching? Also, who is your favorite character? I'm a big Stifler fan. Hey, fuckface! I liked Stifler quite a bit. I kind of had the same douchiness going on for the first couple years of high school. Can you tell? But when it comes to the American Pie movies, the spin-offs, I don't think I've ever really sat down and watched the entirety of any of the American Pie spin-offs, and I probably never will. But I quite enjoy the movies. Now, I think when it comes to American Pie, the first one from 1999 is by far and away the best American Pie movie. I mean, come on. There's a pastry that Jim takes advantage of, and Nadia in that movie, just... I grew up watching Nadia. And everyone in the first American Pie movie, have you ever noticed everyone looks so sweaty? Like, everyone is sweaty looking. And I think I looked into this one day, and maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm just making this up as I talk. But I swear the studio that they shot that movie in had bad AC. So everyone's just sweaty in the movie. Or maybe that's something I completely made up. I don't know. Or maybe that's just what I like to think happened. But anyway, the first American Pie. Then I think American Pie 2 is probably the second best. I would almost go so far as to say I think American Pie Reunion might be better than American Wedding. And with all that said, we were supposed to get an American Pie sequel for like the last 10 years, and it still hasn't happened. And I don't understand why. That seems like a movie that you could make for a moderate budget, and it seems like Amazon Prime or Netflix or Paramount Plus, somebody should make that movie. I just think it would do very well. And I think people want to see a new American Pie movie. I know I do. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from what is this? Predominator? Here it goes. Did you like Until Dawn, John? The new movie Until Dawn? I have not watched it. It's got a really bad rating on IMDb with a 5.8. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 52%. And I probably won't ever watch the movie. I've heard nothing good about it. I have a buddy, I have a friend who's seen that, who talks about movies on YouTube, and he said it was not very good. So, but then it says 80% of people liked the movie. It doesn't make any sense. 1 year after her sister disappeared, Clover and her friends head to a remote valley where she vanished, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Did you guys like the movie? Is it good? Let me know. I won't let an IMDb rating dictate my opinion of the movie. Did you guys like the movie? Let me know. Is it good? Let me know down below. All right, you guys are killing it with the questions. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get to some of these juicy questions here. We got one here. We'll have to hit this one up first here because River Eastbound. Where are you? Okay. You're too generous, River Eastbound, and I meant to buy new party poppers today for the glorious super chats, but I forgot to go to Walmart. I'm sorry. So here it goes. River Eastbound with a very generous super chat, so thank you so much. It does really help out the channel. It really does. So thank you for that. Hey, John. I've been watching your videos since I was 15. I'm almost 30 now. You've been watching for the entirety of my YouTube career of 15 years. Formally, or officially this October. So thank you for that, man. Time flies. Indeed it does. I just wanted to say, thank you for all the laughs, all the good times you've provided. They were able to shine some light in my life during dark times. Never stop doing what you do, man. Well, River Eastburn. I'm calling you River Eastburn. Isn't that a great name? Well, thank you for that, man. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy in all the right places. So thanks, man. Yeah, here's to 15 more years. Let's all take a sip of a caffeinated beverage. Ooh-ah. Thanks for that, man. You're too generous. Thank you so much. Yeah, 15 years. It's kind of crazy to think about. This is the longest, technically the longest job I've ever held, and probably ever will hold. And there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of what have yous, but the most important thing to know is we're here right now. We're talking about life and movies, and we're not going anywhere. So thank you for that, man. Thank you so much. That was really nice of you. Thank you. I want to give you some Sydney Sweeney bathwater for that. Or I'll give you some of my bathwater, whatever you want. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Bo Cylinder. How's it going? Would you rather binge watch Twilight or 50 Shades movies? Probably the Twilight movies. I think they're just more unintentionally hilarious and enjoyable, and they have more levity with interesting characters. Though by interesting, I mean like outrageous, unlikable characters that do unspeakable things that are just beyond the comprehension of human behavior. And I know they're vampires, but that still doesn't justify why they sparkle in the sunlight, or whenever they play baseball, they do it in such an awkward way where it makes no logical sense whatsoever. And why do vampires like baseball so much? I don't know. Call me crazy. It just seems like they would have picked up on an indoor sport. Maybe basketball. I don't know. Mini golf? Call me crazy. Bowling? But anyway, I'd probably much rather rewatch the Twilight movies. More of a guilty pleasure vibe. The 50 Shades of Grey movies, to me, they're not fun. They're not interesting. They are slightly unintentionally funny at times. I don't make love. I fuck hard. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Lee B. Films says, the director of the Karate Kid Legends is supposed to do a Lost Boys remake. Oh, no. I could see that. I could see the Lost Boys remake sort of being like the Karate Kid Legends movie ever so slightly, especially for a newer generation of kids. Because when it comes to the Karate Kid Legends movie, I think some of the shots look kind of cool. And I think the director might be mildly competent, but I don't think the screenwriters are, and the editor definitely is not. But I think some of the shots were fine. I don't think it's a bad looking movie. And to give it a positive, I think some, like the final fight sequence that took place on top of a skyscraper with the city skyline behind it, it looked like a cool epic location to have a final showdown. Now, does that final showdown abruptly happen for no apparent reason whatsoever without a tournament or any build-up leading up into it? Yeah, it does. But it was kind of a cool. It looked like the backdrop of like a Street Fighter game or a Tekken game or something. But the way that the movie's edited, you can tell it's edited for like kids of the new generation that have severe cases of ADHD that watch a lot of TikTok videos, because some of the montages and segues between sequences were just like boom, 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 just 57 different cuts all happening with like this new music that just sounded awful that you would hear in a TikTok video because it's trending and whatever. I digress. But I could see the director of Karate Kid Legends directing a Lost Boys remake. I could, unfortunately. But as long as they have the saxophone guy in the Lost Boys remake covered in baby oil, I will be a satisfied customer. All right. I'm watching I see Josh Brolin on the TUDUM show here, so. All right. Let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Gorilla Beach, who says, "Hey, John, what did you have for dinner tonight?" You know what? I went to a place called Salsa Grill. It's kind of like Chipotle, but less gross. And what I mean by that is when you walk in, they don't have food all over the counter with like rice and chicken splattered all over. No. It's like a nice, clean burrito place where they care about what they serve you. And it's less goopy. You ever notice Chipotle is just so, everything you get is wet? It's like wettish. Like you get a wrap from Chipotle and it's all soggy and falling out of the bottom. Ugh. But anyway, I went to a place called Salsa Grill. Pretty good. Got a chicken burrito. But thanks for the question, man. All right, the next one comes from James Dosier, who says, "Hey, John, if you were Tom Hanks in Castaway, would you be able to survive on that island?" Not only would I not be able to survive on that island, I would probably just jump off that cliff that he almost... I hate using the term unalived. Anyway, I'd just jump off that cliff within a matter of a few days. First and foremost, I don't think I could ever start a fire with 2 twigs. Now, if I did find a volleyball, I would probably still have a long friendship with it because me and inanimate objects just get along very well. And then if I found the videotape, I'd be really mad that there wasn't a VCR. Do I think I could survive on that island? Realistically, probably not. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever get as good with a spear as Tom Hanks was in that movie. You know that one scene where he just throws it 47 yards and it lands right on a fish and he doesn't even bother to cook it? I don't know. I can tell you this, though. I probably would not make a raft. But if I did, I would definitely use the videotape. I don't know. That's a great question. Not for multiple years like he did. There's no way. There's no way. And when he used that math equation to figure out where he was at, there's no way I could do that. I barely passed algebra. You think I can do some crazy math equation to figure out where I am in the sea? There's no way. I'm just going to follow the North Star. Wherever that goes, I'm going to follow it. So that's my answer to that question. Absolutely not. I could not. All right. We got Jeremy Renner on there holding 2 air cannon guns. All right. Let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson, who never lets me down and never will. Here it goes. Magazine dreams sucked. Okay. We'll debate this momentarily, but let's get back to the question. Padded runtime, disjointed sequences, forced drama, no character development. The ending is predictable as sunrise, but then they pull a bait and switch and the movie fizzes out like a wet fart. I don't think the movie was predictable. I don't think for 1 second you predicted that his character was going to meet his idol, and what happened after that would take place. You're my number one fan, huh? You did not predict that. Unless you read about it before you watched the movie, you didn't predict that. And also the ending, it does have a curveball thrown at you, but you think it's leading one direction, and I could have seen it going that one direction from the character Killian Maddox. Killy Maddox, that's his name. But I liked it. I think that was sort of a realistic approach from a guy who might have a severe case of autism, who's super addicted to working out, and he dedicates his life to it. I think it was a fairly accurate depiction of that. I really do. And I think it was gritty and violent and kept you on the edge of your seat. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great character study, and I stand by it. But nevertheless, I'm sorry you didn't like it, man. All right. I loved it. All right. And plus the scene where he's flexing in the gym, or he's making that training video in his garage, and he keeps messing up and he just starts losing his shit. I love that scene. It kind of reminds me of when I make videos on YouTube. I say the same thing 75 times and I start screaming at myself, and then I get up and pace around the room. All right. You're my number one fan, huh? Let's go to the next one here. Lee B. Film says, speaking of Karate Kid legends, they held an audition contest for the lead. Also, Zadie Stanley is hot. Zadie Stanley, is that the main girl in the movie? I guess. Yeah, she kind of reminded me of, just sort of kind of reminded me of Haley Steinfeld just a little bit. That's cool though. I didn't know that they held auditions. All right. But I did like the new Karate Kid. I liked that it was a kid from China who already knew Kung Fu coming to America. And I sort of like the change of pace that the new Karate Kid already knows Kung Fu, and he can do 15 backflips and do moves that only Ryu can do from Street Fighter. I like those things. But he still needed extra training from Daniel LaRusso, a 65-year-old guy teaching Miyagi-Do who can barely bend over and touch his toes. But we need training sessions from this guy. It's like if Ralph Macchio bends over too far, his hairpiece will fall off. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from... I'm just kidding. I love me some Ralph Macchio. I love him. Just having some fun. All right, the next one's coming from the Movie Guy, who says, how's it going, Movie Guy? Movie Guy says, I enjoy your live shows the most out of everyone on the YouTubeverse. So please, John, if you can make it happen, a live stream every Friday and Saturday night would be phenomenal. I think more would appreciate it as well. Well, thank you for that. It does mean a lot. There are a lot of people who do live streams, and I'm probably the most inconsistent of them, but I like to say I give you the real, brutal, honest truth, okay? Take it or leave it. Every time I do a live show and I share an unpopular opinion or say something a little too frisky, people unsubscribe. I notice it every time. And I refuse to appease everyone, because as soon as you appease everyone, you end up appeasing no one, especially yourself. So thank you so much for that. Now, for a long time, I have flirted with the concept of doing a live show on a consistent basis at the same time, same day, every week. But for me, I'm more of a spontaneous guy. And what I mean by that is, if I do it every day, every Thursday at 7 o'clock, there's going to be some Thursdays that I don't want to do it. Maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm busy, and I don't ever want to resent doing live shows. Every time you see my stupid face during a live show, it's because I want to be here. This is exactly what I want to be doing. There's a lot of things to do in life, a lot of options, a lot of places to go, but there's no other place I'd rather be than right here, talking to all of you right now. So that's why I'm a little bit spotty with my live shows. But with all of that said, I understand that it would make viewership numbers go up, and it would make watching it much easier. So I have been messing around with a time and date, and I have been testing certain live shows on certain days and times. And what I've concluded is that I don't know when people will watch this shit, because there's been some days where I do it late. Tons of people watch them. There's other times where I do it when the YouTube analytics tell me this is the time for the most viewership, and I get the least amount of viewership. So I don't know. I kind of would like to do live shows maybe on a Friday. I think that might be a good day. But we're doing them on a Saturday, and you guys seem to like it. So I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. And then part of me was thinking about sort of maybe keeping the live shows on this channel a little bit more spontaneous, and then doing a dedicated weekly live show over on the Flick Pick channel where we cover the movie news and stuff like that. Excuse me. So you guys tell me, what kind of live show would you guys like to see? When and where? Gilliam LaBelle says Ben Wong was really good in it. Yeah, I thought he was a fine guy in the new Karate Kid movie. Dustin Rich says, you could have watched Neon Demon, but you chose Karate Kid Legends. You choose poorly, John. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Dustin Rich, but I had to put out a new movie review. But anyway, but by the way, thanks so much once again, Movie Guy, for the generous super chat. Thank you so much. And yeah, tell me when you guys want to see the live shows. I don't know. Gilliam LaBelle also says the ending we got works so damn well. In Shawshank, absolutely. Did you guys see the new King of the Hill trailer or new opening to the show? I kind of like it. I'm looking forward to a King of the Hill revival show with like old Bobby in it and old Hank Hill. That looks like a good time. Somebody was just talking about that on the last live show. Dustin Rich says, I'm your 54th fan. Well, thanks for that. And speaking to all you glorious people watching the live show right now, if you guys want to, you don't have to, but I'd appreciate it. Just fucking do it. If you want to give the live show a big thumbs up, that would make me feel better about who I am and what I'm doing in life, and also show the YouTube algorithm you're not afraid. So, if you want to click the like button, it does help, but you don't have to. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next question comes from... let's back up. Let's go forward. Here we go. All right. Patrice Chaswick, how's it going? Who is your top choice for the new Batman? I'm feeling Alan Richardson. I always say his last name completely wrong. After seeing Reacher, keep up the honest, unfiltered content, mate. Well, thanks for that, Patrice. I think Alan Richardson, I think he has the physicality. He has the screen presence. He's like 6'3", weighs 260 pounds. He's buff. He could play Batman. I could see him playing a grizzled Batman. And I would be okay with that. But at the same time, depending on the age that they're going for with the new Batman, it's like Josh Brolin at one point was supposed to play the older version of Batman in the Dark Knight Returns version of the Batman and Batman v Superman, but it went to Ben Affleck, and I was fine with that. But this new Batman, I've heard James Gunn's new Batman from the James Gunn DC universe is going to be a slightly older Batman, but Brolin might be a little too old now, but I think that would be a fine casting choice. I've always sort of wanted to see Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman, and I think he'd make a good Bruce Wayne. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe there's some undiscovered actor out there I'm not thinking of. Oh, they got Rhea Ripley and CM Punk on the Netflix show right now. Okay, well, I do love me some WWE, but all right, let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from Skylar Wheelock, who says, what movies get you amped for summer that you have to rewatch? Summertime movies, my wife and I were just debating on which movie to watch tonight, actually, and we were thinking of big epic summer movies, and we watched Jaws last year, so maybe I'll savor the flavor on that. And then I was thinking maybe The Sandlot, but I like to watch that closer to the 4th of July, along with Independence Day. So I'm not quite sure which summertime movie we're going to watch. She's never seen the Abyss. So I love me some James Cameron, so maybe we'll watch that. But then again, part of me wants to just watch Terminator Judgment Day. I don't know. And that's a great question for you guys. What are your favorite summertime movies? Like the movies that you watch in the summer, it makes sense. It doesn't necessarily have to take place in the summer, but it's a summertime movie. Let me know some of those down below. If you got a recommendation on what I should watch tonight that relates to being a summertime movie, please let me know. Maybe I can watch Irreversible. The Patriot. Yes, that would go on my summer list of movies as well. Definitely a great movie celebrating Independence Day. She's never seen that. That actually might not be a bad choice. I've seen that movie more than I want to admit. I feel like I've seen the movie Patriot more than any other human being on the planet. And if there's somebody out there who has a higher view count than me, I'd like to meet them and just see how sad and pathetic their life really is. But I've seen that movie probably 45 times, and I love it every time. James Dozier says Jurassic Park, I guess, for me. Oh, Jurassic Park is the quintessential summertime movie. But what I'm doing with Jurassic Park is I'm savoring the flavor for that bad boy because I want to have a special movie night rewatching Jurassic Park before the new Jurassic World movie comes out. And I want to watch it in my backyard on my inflatable 20-foot projector screen. That's the way I'm going to watch it this year. So I'm going to try to make a video for that. So look out for it. The way back, Friday would be kind of, I could kind of see that. Independence Day, Men in Black. Men in Black is a great summertime movie. I remember seeing that in the summer of 1997 with my grandmother. And then we went to Target afterwards, or maybe it was Kmart. I think she liked Kmart more. And I bought one of the Men in Black toys. But the Men in Black toy I bought was the toy version of Kay, Tommy Lee Jones character. This is my happy face. For some reason, I bought the action figure of Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black. I vividly remember that, and I don't know why I did it. Could you think of a more boring toy to play with? Here's my Tommy Lee Jones action figure. It looks like Tommy Lee Jones in sunglasses. Dude, they're going to wait until the very end of this Netflix live show to show that Stranger Things trailer. I think that's the thing everyone wants to see. Oh, man. How long is this live stream? Does anyone know? How long is the TUDUM live stream? Let me know. If this thing's like 3 hours long, I'm not waiting. I'm not going to do it. We'll just talk about it next time. Let me know. All right. The next question comes from Laco Mismo. Did I say that right? Which YouTube movie reviewers do you trust? I don't trust any of them. They're all lying through their teeth. They're all afraid to tell you the truth. They're padding it, okay? They got to get those views. The thing with YouTube movie reviews, let me let you guys into a little trick, okay? It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So if you just say it all positive like, you can get away with saying whatever you want. The movie's bad, but just say it all positive and smile. That's a trick, okay? Don't let them fool you. But I got some YouTube buddies like 3C Films. I like him. I like his opinions. What me and him talk about is what he says in his videos. So I appreciate that. I don't know. I think Red Letter Media, I've always trusted their opinions on movies. They're not always trying to appease somebody. I like them quite a bit. So those are a couple, but to be completely honest with you, I don't really watch a lot of movie reviews on YouTube unless it's one of my friends that post a review and I check it out. But I don't watch a lot of reviews. I like talking about movies. I like talking about movies on my channel, but I don't watch a lot of movie reviews per se. I actually almost prefer listening to movie thoughts during live streams. I like the unfiltered, unedited version of thoughts from people. That's just me. Emmanuel says, trust no one. Yeah, don't. Don't even trust me. You can trust me, though. I'm not afraid of the truth. The truth is afraid of me. Dustin Rich says, which is going to be worse, Superman or Fantastic Four? I think Fantastic Four will be a fine Fantastic Four movie. But I think it'll just be serviceable, and I think it'll be well done, but I don't think it's going to be this compelling movie that you're going to remember in 20 years. So if I had to pick one, I'm really intrigued to see the new Superman movie. Now, I have some reservations about it, and I think it's probably going to be somewhat flawed in many ways, but there's also, when it comes to this movie, it looks like they're trying something new. It looks like they're trying something different, and I'm all for that. I would rather a movie, because keep in mind, we've already had 15 other Superman movies, okay? And if they want to try something new, even if it doesn't quite work out, I'm ready to see it. And I can at least appreciate that they're going to take a risk and do something maybe a little bit different. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am. So I'm looking forward to the Superman movie more than the Fantastic Four movie, but I still want to check out both. They both look like a fun time in the theater. You know, speaking of summer movies, two big epic comic book movies. Now, if you want to talk about the Fantastic, I think we should do this, okay? Let's bring this up here. Actually, there's nothing to bring up. Let's just talk about it. So, it was supposedly leaked on the internet when it comes to Fantastic Four First Steps that a test screening took place, and this might be spoilers. Take it with a grain of salt. Everything I'm about to say could be completely fabricated and made up, and somebody read it on a Reddit forum at 3 o'clock in the morning from some dude that lives in his parents' basement, and trust me, I know I used to be that dude. So this could not be accurate whatsoever, but for the next 2 minutes, we're going to talk spoilers or potential spoilers when it comes to Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, in this test screening, people got their first look at the post-credit scene in Fantastic Four. And what happened was Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, Mrs. Fantastic, they have a child, and at the very end of this film, they walk into a room, and holding the child from its crib, like David Bowie from The Labyrinth, is Dr. Doom. Now, you don't see Dr. Doom's face, so it's pretty much just a stand-in for Robert Downey Jr., easy payday for him, and he looks comic book accurate to Dr. Doom, and he's holding the baby. Now, if you know anything about Fantastic Four, you might know that their love child plays a pivotal part in one of the storylines in Fantastic Four. This child has powers and abilities, and maybe, just maybe, Dr. Doom is going to utilize those powers for some wrongdoing. That's a possibility. But also, here's my thoughts on this potentially leaked post-credit sequence from Fantastic Four. If you're going to do a test screening of a movie, that's fine. That makes sense. I get that. You want to understand if people like it, hate it, the tone, the vibe, what scenes did you like, dislike. I understand all of those things. But when it comes to a Marvel test screening, why would you put the post-credit scene in the test screening? It's so unnecessary. You don't need to do it whatsoever. There's no need to do it. Show them the movie, but there's no reason for that post-credit scene because you just know people are going to spoil it and tell everyone on the internet, like I just did. But that's if it's true. So the debate is maybe that post-credit scene, and please let me know what you guys think about it down below. Makai, I love you too, man. If that in fact was the real scene, I don't feel like that would have been in the test screening. I really don't. There's no need to put that in the test screening whatsoever. So I think that was a fake, fabricated scene for the test audience. But also, why even show a post-credit sequence? You don't have credits roll, that's it. You don't need to show them anything. You don't need that. You got everything you needed from the test audience with the movie. The post-credit scene, it's going to lead into the next big thing, but what does it ultimately matter for the actual movie itself? But when it comes to MCU movies, that's the only thing people talk about the next day on the internet. They don't talk about the 2-hour, $350 million movie they just watched. No, we all talk about the 45-second post-credit scene. Oh, there's that guy from the new upcoming movie doing that thing. It's like that's the conversation. So I wouldn't, if I was Marvel or Disney, I wouldn't have shown people shit. No post-credit scene. Get out. What'd you think about the movie? Oh, Galactus wins and everyone dies and the Fantastic Four have to escape, and then they go to another parallel dimension to look for a way to save their planet, which is probably what's going to happen in that movie. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. I really feel like that was not... Actually, I don't feel like that's the scene we're going to see when we go to see Fantastic Four. Just putting it out there. And I think if they were going to put Doctor Doom in that scene, they would have showed Robert Downey Jr.'s face if he was actually there. All right. GF Hostman says, maybe it's an alternative ending and maybe change it. Or maybe it is actually the post-credit scene and then they have another post-credit scene in the movie. Who knows? Dustin Rich says, the female Silver Surfer is a deal breaker for me. I won't be paying money to see it. I get it. Norrin Radd is a much cooler Silver Surfer in every possible way. He just looks cooler. I mean, it's just more visually stunning to see Norrin Radd up there with his trapezius muscles all bulging out of his neck. That is the embodiment of a god, if you ask me. I feel like that's what they based the space jockeys on. Anyway, just that perfect physical specimen of an alien creature with washboard abs, not a 0% body fat, just cruising around on a surfboard. But yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the female Silver Surfer because she'll probably be in the movie for like a total of like 7 minutes. So. J Dubs says David Bowie was great in the Labyrinth, bulge and all. Oh, absolutely, man. How's that song go for the Labyrinth? The Babe. Something like that? I don't know. Magma Liquor says, but silver boobs? I guess, man. All right. All right. The next one, the next one comes from the movie guy who says, "No more Pattinson as Batman. I'll be honest. I like him as Batman, but his portrayal as Bruce Wayne sucks and needs improvement." Well, keep this in mind. The Batman wasn't about Bruce Wayne. That persona was not there yet because he wasn't the playboy millionaire yet. He was this like addicted, edgy guy who was still getting over the loss of his parents, who was basically addicted to being Batman. The way I look at Robert Pattinson's portrayal as Batman in The Batman is sort of like the way I look at a drug addict, right? They're going to stay up all night. They're going to sleep in all day. They're going to hyper-focus on whatever they're doing, like meth, for example. They're not going to shower. They're not going to eat. They don't care about anything else except for this addiction. And Robert Pattinson's portrayal of Batman was, his addiction was Batman, right? So he didn't care about being a playboy. And in the next installment, if it ever gets made, and supposedly it's still like 2 or 3 years away, by that point it's like we waited 8 years for a Batman sequel, just stop and go to something else. I think we'll get there. I think his character will get there with Bruce Wayne, but he didn't need that version of Bruce Wayne for the first installment. All right. Dustin Rich says, I don't understand the point of putting Robert Downey Jr. in the role of the character who isn't supposed to reveal his face. I mean, Dr. Doom can reveal his face, I guess. Maybe he's just doing voice work. Maybe they're going to have a stand-in. And Robert Downey Jr. has like 2 scenes and he just does the voiceover for Dr. Doom. Who knows? Gilliam LaBelle says, Batmeth. Yes, that's what the sequel should be called. Is Stranger Things happening? Is it happening? Alex says, are you excited for the animated Predator movie? To be honest, I don't know much about it, so not really. I'm excited for Predator Badlands. I'm looking forward to that coming up. But All right, and once again, big thanks to River Eastburn for the very generous super chat earlier. Thank you so much, man. I wish I had my party poppers. I keep forgetting to get new party poppers because every time I get a great super chat, I pop those bad boys off. It's a celebration of sorts. All right, let's go to the next one here. Skylar Wheelock says, Gran Torino could be a Dirty Harry finale that probably should have been. Watch the film again and tell me the character of Walt shouldn't have been Callahan, a retired cop trying to do good now, and he's old, and all that work hasn't made a difference. Oh, I could absolutely see that being a Dirty Harry retirement movie. He's bored, he's just hyper-focusing on his lawn, he hates the neighborhood, and he wants to do something fulfilling and serve justice. I could absolutely see that. I think when Clint Eastwood set out to make Gran Torino, he probably used a little bit of that Dirty Harry inspiration. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth. I could see that. Hey, listen, you give me another 30 years, I will be Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. I cannot wait to get to that point in my life. All right, the next one comes from the movie guy who says, I love the first American Pie movie, but for me, the second one is the best in the series. And yes, John, everyone is sweaty as F in the first movie. Absolutely, man. Hey, I understand if you like the second one more. It's sort of a copy and paste of the first movie. I just think there's something so special about that first movie. Like, no one expected it to do well. This is a cast of unknowns, and it was so over the top and outrageous. We had not seen a comedy movie that raunchy in a very long time, and that's why I love it. And I think the first one's more outrageous than the second one. It just has this like visceral approach to it that I quite enjoy because no one knew what to expect from that movie. Has that Ben Affleck? Oh, it's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Okay. How do you like those apples? All right, let's go to the next one here. The next one is from Gilliam LaBelle, who says, watched 50 Shades of Grey this week, and my date and I couldn't stop laughing our asses off when Dakota Johnson and her eyes covered in slow-mo, Madame Web vibes. Oh, when he put the blindfold on? Is that what you're talking about? I don't remember that scene. I'm sure it was a laugh riot, to say the least. I've watched all those movies once, and that was sufficient for me. Don't get me wrong. If those movies completely went for it and were a bit more over the top and didn't just come across like fan fiction, which basically they were fan fiction, they're just bad movies, and they were bad books. Let's all be honest. They belong on a Reddit forum. That's where those belong. All right, Mark Hickey says, John, I'm drunk, just got McDonald's, and might throw up. I'm hoping you cure me. Oh, the only cure for that is go puke it up in the toilet, my man. Say goodbye to those chicken nuggets. See you later. I just had some McDonald's the other day, and sometimes when I'm feeling extra nasty in life, I get some McDonald's. Why? Because it's the most convenient restaurant in proximity to where I live. But I'll tell you what has gotten gross and more grosser every time I go there. It's the chicken nuggets. Sometimes they taste a little soggy and like mushy, and I like crispy chicken nuggets. And something about eating the McDonald's chicken nuggets, and yes, I've seen the pictures where they come from. I've seen it. That big pink slop paste that looks like whale blubber put through a tube and squeezed out and formed into an artificial chicken nugget. I know what it is. I don't like to think about it though. But anyway, I ate 2 of the chicken nuggets from like my 10-piece nugget the other day, and I was like, I can't eat. It tastes like, the best way to describe the chicken nuggets are they taste like meat sponges. Yeah, I'm going to go with meat sponges. So yeah, go puke that up right now, man. Get it out. Brian TG23 says, hey, John, I've been watching since 2016. Now I'm married with a 4-year-old daughter, and I've spent my late nights with your voice keeping me company. Just wanted to say thanks for always making it a good time. Man, these reminiscing memory comments just hit me in the feels. So thank you so much for that, Brian. Thank you so much. And to you and your family and your 4-year-old daughter, thank you so much, man. So thank you for that. We're getting old, but thanks for sticking around. Thanks for that, man. Hey, as much as you say I'm keeping you company, you're keeping me company too. It's just the other side of the camera. All right? So thanks for that, man. Too generous, too kind. Many, many late nights we've spent together. It sounds weird, but hey, it's been fun. All right, let's go to the next one. The movie guy says, what movie do you have planned after the live stream? If you haven't thought of anything, watch Mars Express. It's a wild movie, at least in my opinion. Mars Express? What is Mars Express? What's this new movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? That looks interesting. Mars Express. Oh, it's like an anime movie. It's got a 7.5 on IMDb. I'll show you guys. Aline Ruby and her partner are hired by businessmen to track down a hacker on Mars. Okay, sounds kind of cool. I mean, it looks kind of cool. I don't know. It came out in 2023. Oh, this is new. I'm not a huge anime fan, I'll be honest with you. There's very few anime movies. I get it. I do. I completely understand it, but it's just, I don't know. It's just that one genre that sort of escapes me. But I get why people like it, and I appreciate it. But it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know, man. I might have to give it a shot. I'll check it out. I'll check out the trailer at least, see if it looks enticing. How's that? What's this? What is this new Matt Damon Ben Affleck movie? It literally looks like the definition of a Netflix movie. Let's all be honest with ourselves here. It's got the guy who played the mayor in The Dark Knight. But why is it all these Netflix movies just look like the most standard digital movie of all time? Like all these action movies just look like shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. The Rip. It's called The Rip. Okay. Hey, you talking to me? I'll rip you a new one. They better use that line in the movie. Yeah, I don't know. Like, is it hard? It's sort of hard to get excited for a Netflix original action movie, isn't it? Didn't we just have Havoc come out with Tom Hardy? And that was not good. I didn't even watch it, but I knew it wasn't going to be good. And guess what? It wasn't. I predicted the future. Yeah, I don't know. I like me some Affleck and Matt Damon, but I don't know, man. I'll definitely check it out, but it just looks like a generic cop movie. Hopefully it's something different. I have a theory when it comes to Netflix movies. They will always give you a middle-of-the-road movie. They don't want to offend anyone, but they don't want to appease anyone at the same time. They like to ride right in the middle, a nice, even line of here's an instantly forgettable movie, but we're somehow going to justify charging you more and more for your subscription every year. Here, watch this. No one cares about original movies on Netflix. No one cares. We just want to watch catalog titles. When it comes to original movies on Netflix, how often do you go back and rewatch an original movie on Netflix? Never. Never. You go back and watch Spaceballs. You know, like you go watch Mission Impossible Part 4. That's what you watch on Netflix. You don't watch Netflix original movies more than once. No. But I'll tell you one thing I'll watch on Netflix. That is the new Stranger Things trailer if they ever drop it. All right. Is this an hour? Do you guys, can someone verify that for me? Let me know. Dustin Rich says, did you ever watch Wonder Shozen, John? No, I have not. Gorilla Beach says, McDonald's fulfills for 15 minutes. That's the time for a burrito again. Yeah, McDonald's has so much salt, it just bloats you. It makes you feel like you got more food and nutrition than you did. All right, let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from... Oh, here we go. Okay, the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson, who says, yeah, we all know, or I'm sorry, yeah, we all like character study movies about misfit loners and obsessives, but let's face it, this formula has become another played out trope, and it's now being exploited by hack writers. I get that. I get where you're coming from. I will say in Magazine Dreams, there are a few tropes I've seen in other movies, and maybe even slightly better movies throughout the years that they did implement in Magazine Dreams. I get it. But at the same time, we don't often enough get movies that push the envelope like Magazine Dreams does. It's uncomfortable. It's unsettling. It's not a movie everyone's going to like. I like when we still get movies like that. And it's, in all fairness, it's a very well-made movie. It looks great. The acting's great. And plus, once again, going back to the main character, I love that he's listening to like metal music and just losing his shit and driving around and working out. I relate to it. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm secretly a sociopath who has weird addictions and I relate to it. There, I said it, okay? Let's go to the next one here. I'll tell you what's getting played out. The fact that we're saying Magazine Dreams and character studies are getting played out, you know what's played out? Comic book movies are fucking played out. When I went to X today, every other post on my feed was some random debate about Superman the movie. Well, actually, Superman, I like the bulge in his red underwear more than in the Zack Snyder one. It's like, Jesus, like, can we just watch the movie? Like, I feel like that we've had enough conversation about debating the movie. I think it's now time for everyone to shut the fuck up and you watch the fucking movie. And then we'll have a new conversation. Because I'm tired of speculating. Like, that's where I'm at right now. I can't talk about the shade of Superman's underwear anymore. At some point, you just stop giving a shit about dumb fucking shit like that. And when I see that on X, it literally infuriates me to the point where I have to choke myself until I pass out and I wake up 75 minutes later in a pool of my own vomit, sweat, and piss. And I think to myself, life is too short for all of this. Then I go outside and scream, and then my neighbors call the cops, and I come back in and chug a caffeinated beverage such as this right here. Let's go to the next question. But with all that said, I'm really looking forward to the new Superman movie. All right. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that outburst. I think 3 people understood the humor in it, though. Thank you for that. Stranger Things 5 trailer is releasing within 45 minutes or so. Huh. 45 more minutes? Okay, I think we can do that. So they're going to release it right at 10 o'clock. Those sneaky sons of bitches. I knew they'd do it. All right. Quintel says, your rants hit much harder than when I was in middle school. Well, thank you for that. The thing is, my dark humor, sometimes I think an older audience picks up on it, but the new generation of kids are offended by it. So I don't know. All right. I just like to have fun. That's all I'm doing. All right, let's go to the next one here. Gorilla Beach says, John, do you still cycle every now and then? Man, no. Never have, never needed to. But don't get me wrong. When I turn like 50, probably. I'll get on some TRT. Robert Giacchento says, describe what would be your own personal hell. I'll be honest. Okay, coming from a dude, well, there's different layers of hell, okay? Let's go with the one that's like you're not dying of some terminal illness, all right? Let's not go with that version. But my version of hell is doing something every day that you don't want to do. And I've done things like that throughout life. Like working in a cubicle is sort of a version of hell for me. Now, this is like a light and fluffy answer, I know, but from a guy who worked in a cubicle for like 3 years of my life and not doing it, to me, it's like escape. Like I was in hell and I escaped it. I remember when I worked in a cubicle at a marketing company. Every day of my life was essentially the worst day of my life. And I remember looking outside of the window every day, and there would be guys mowing the grass, putting mulch down, and stuff like that outside. And I thought to myself, I was like, I would much rather be doing what they're doing than what I'm doing right now. And I thought that every day of my life until one day I just stood up, I packed my shit, and I just left, got my car, and never went back. They tried calling me a couple times, and I just didn't even pick up the call. I was like, it doesn't exist anymore. And then after that, I started delivering pizzas because I needed some kind of weird outlet in life, and that's what I found. And that for me was one of the most therapeutic, adventurous, fun jobs that still you brought home cash every night and free pizza, and that was a great time as well in life. So yeah, working in a cubicle. They're doing a MCU skit right now. Well, I don't see it. Okay. Office Space in real life. Exactly. You got it. That movie spoke to me. Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, the thing with me in movies and movies I love, these are movies that I have taken advice from. Life advice. And I think there are movies. And if you like, and obviously I'm sure a lot of you like movies, or else why are you here right now? But there are fundamentally movies that I love that I truly take the advice of that movie and use it as a moral compass in life. And Office Space is one of those movies. Take the advice of Office Space. All right, the next one comes from Jason. How's it going, Jason? Who says, "What's up, Johnny boy? How are you? I'm doing pretty good. No complaints. You know, a lot of things going on in life. You know, I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I don't have any complaints. I really don't. Except, you know what? I do have one complaint. I have to go to a wedding tomorrow. My wife's friend is getting married, and like, good for them. But like, I hate going to weddings. I hate it. I hate going to weddings. I hate it. You put on pants that are slightly too small and too tight, and I'm getting fat. I've been getting fat for like the last 6 months. And you just have to sit there for like 5 hours and do a whole bunch of small talk with people you don't know. And you just know secretly they don't care about you either. And the weather's nice today. And it's snowing outside or raining or something. But that's what you have to do. So other than that, I have no complaints. Let's go to the next one here. Oh, sorry. There's more to your question. Anyway, have you seen VO3 from Google AI video? They are saying it's the end of Hollywood. Your pal Jason, Young Gun style pals. Well, thanks for that, man. Young Guns, Emilio Estevez. No. So I have seen some clips of these 8-second videos that AI is creating. And keep in mind, these 8-second clips will eventually turn into 8 minutes. Then 8 hours, then 8 days of what you can do with AI. And the fact that AI has exponentially progressed to the point where it's at just in a matter of like 2 years, it's pretty terrifying. And keep in mind, the version of AI that we are seeing as consumers, that's like the training wheels version of AI. The shit behind locked doors that we haven't been given access to yet, that's going to really change the game, and for the worse. Because keep in mind, you don't need me. You don't need me to do what I'm doing right now. Like, at some point, some guy on YouTube will type in, okay, give me a guy who's kind of douchey, talks about movies, call him the Flick Pick, make a random live stream talking about movies with some dark, witty humor, go. And then you'll just see somebody, you'll see this. That's what you'll get. That's what content creation will eventually become. People typing in prompts to make AI videos that people watch and consume. And movies will eventually go that direction. And then the entire infrastructure of creativity will implode on itself. And then we'll have to start back at the Stone Age. And I'm really looking forward to that. You know the best thing about Skynet winning is? Once they set off all the nuclear warheads and destroy humanity, we sort of get to start over in a way. And it's going to be a beautiful day. Do I sound like a nihilist? Maybe. But anyway, what was the question? Oh, yes, AI. Yeah, I have seen it. Sorry, I'm sorry. Dustin Rich says, I ordered pizza from someone who looked like you a few years ago, and they kicked my grill over, and there was charcoal all over my lawn. It wasn't you, was it, Dustin? You watch a lot of my live streams to have heard that story, and I thank you for that, because that, in fact, is something I did in 2007. But no, it wasn't me this time, I promise. I haven't delivered pizza since 2008, 9, somewhere in there. Oh, Happy Gilmore 2's up? He going to shit poop. Are you guys looking forward to Happy Gilmore 2? Don't get me wrong, I love me some Happy Gilmore. I want to see the sequel, but just looking at the trailer, doesn't it just not? It looks like it was shot with like some camera you could buy at Best Buy. It doesn't look like an actual movie. I don't know how to articulate how I'm feeling about it, but it looks gloomy and not filmic. It looks like something they shot over the course of the weekend. But I am looking forward to Happy Gilmore 2. And hey, you got the original cast all back. Okay. Could be a good time. Daddy Needs to Chill says, am I missing something? What do you mean? What do you mean, are you missing something? All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Clark Ingleton, who says, a Seven-esque serial killer sociopath movie is The Snowtown Murders, made in my hometown of South Australia. Look it up. Dark, twisted stuff. Be warned. What is it called? Snowtown Murders? Let me check this out here. Bodies and Barrels movie from 1992. Sounds kind of cool. Oh, in 1999? Or I think I'm reading about the actual case. Oh, I'm sure the movie's pretty dark and twisted, man. Yeah, dudes in Australia don't play around. For example, the movie I was talking about earlier, Dangerous Animals. Australian dudes make great serial killers. They really do. It just makes sense. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from... And by the way, just on a quick side note, I finally bought a dual monitor setup. I bought an ultra wide monitor from Sam's Club the other day because my other monitor, it broke. It was starting to flicker throughout the last few months. And it finally just like got to this point where I just couldn't look at it anymore. It was like flickery and weird. So I finally pulled the trigger and rather than do a dual monitor setup, which I don't quite have the room for where my desk is. So I bought an ultra wide where I can do a dual monitor setup. And let me tell you guys, it has made this stream 10 times easier. I got everything I need on one screen. I got the software for the stream on the other. It's beautiful. Can you guys hear my neighbor's dog barking? Okay. All right, let's go to the next one here. Jason says, John, if you went in your bathroom one morning and found a dead Fraggle, what would you do? I don't know what a Fraggle is, but I'd probably just step over it and get in the shower, man. I don't know. Jason also says, what's the best kind of royalty you have ever seen in a movie? Best kind of royalty I've ever seen in a movie? What do you mean by that? You mean like a sponsorship in a movie? Like a product placement? I mean, the Budweiser in Transformers Part 4? Was it 4? Was pretty outrageous. And Mark Wahlberg picks one up. Hey, you want a Budweiser? Something Optimus? Here you go. That was pretty outrageous. Maybe I'll go with that. Fella Guy says, if that's not what you meant by your question, please elaborate in the normal chat. I'll read it. Fella Guy says, Do you think the new title of Bring Her Back? Okay, my brain's melting here. Do you think the title Bring Her Back spoils the plot? Some kind of sacrifice to resurrect a dead beloved relative using occult blood magic? No. I don't think the title Bring Her Back, well, reading the question kind of did, yeah. But the title, not so much. Because there's a lot of twists and turns to get there, you see. It's like, does the title Talk to Me spoil anything? I don't know. Jason says, best friend moment in a movie. I say The Town. I need to hurt some people moment. I can't tell you where we're going or what we're going to do, but I'm going to hurt some people. You want to go? Whose car are we taking? Oh, yeah, I love that scene in The Town with Jeremy Renner. That's a great scene. Best buddy. I don't know. I like the friendship between Randall and Dante in Clerks quite a bit. I don't know if that's the best buddy moment. Then you had Maverick and Goose. For me, it's always I've always enjoyed the relationship and the dynamic between in the movie Stand By Me between River Phoenix and what's his name, Gordy and Chris Chambers. I've always enjoyed that friendship because that reminds me of like me and my friends when I was younger. That's kind of the way we talk to each other, like 1950s kids walking down the train tracks to see a dead body. That's just how we talked. Let's see a few other ones here. We got, I don't think Rush Hour should, that's fine. Oh, here's a great buddy dynamic in a movie, Point Break. Kind of two polar opposites, but he believes in the spiritual journey of Bodhi and understand where he's coming from. I like that dynamic. So maybe Point Break, we can go with that. Yeah, that's great. If you guys have one, what is your favorite buddy relationship in a movie? Let's see. How about Paul Allen and Patrick Bateman? Someone said, oh yeah, 007 said, Superbad sleeping bag scene. Boop. I have a friend, and that's the best way to describe me and my best friend since I was in 7th grade. Our friendship is sort of like Superbad. Sometimes I'm Michael Cera, sometimes he's Michael Cera, but we're definitely always both Jonah Hill, okay? So I definitely relate to the Superbad friendship as well. Manuel says Jane Silent Bob. That's a good one too. McGill and Tulio from Road to El Dorado. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. How about Friday? You ain't got no job. You ain't got no money. The Nice Guys? Okay. Why are 80s buddy movies so gay? I wouldn't change them any other way. I like them like that. How about the new friendship between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence, in Cobra Kai? All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from... okay, the next few questions come from Jason. So let's answer all of these here. John, since your name is John, who's your favorite character in a movie named John? Keanu Reeves has played a crazy amount of characters named John. John Doe. I'll be John Doe from 7. How about that? Let's go with, I don't know, John Rambo. We could go with that. That's a good one. I'm going to go with John Doe from 7. For some reason, when someone was talking to me on the subway today, I puked on them. We'll go with John Doe from 7. Or how about John Bender from The Breakfast Club? Hey, you know what my old man got me for Christmas? A pack of smokes. Smoke up, Johnny! Yeah, we'll go with John Bender from The Breakfast Club. And I just rewatched that movie the other day. Great movie. Jason also says, John, on the spot question, what is true love? And your best love story movie moment. That's a lot to lay on me, man. What is true love? True love to me is the ability to be around someone for the rest of your life. That is true love. And just dealing with who they are, good or bad, that can be true love. What was the next part of this question here? Best love story movie moment? Ooh, excuse me. Best love story movie moment? I don't even know if I comprehend the question. Wait, is that Stranger Things happening?
Please welcome Ben Wolfhard, Caleb.
Oh, it's about to happen. Yay! But as they babble on before we get to the good stuff, I don't know. Best love story movie moment. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't know. All right, let's go to the next one here. Jason says, John, how do you feel about Superman movie? What are your favorite parts of the trailers? The part where Superman flies and punches a giant Koju in the face and then screams at Lois Lane. People were dying! Ooh, the trailer's about to start. I'm getting excited. Or maybe it won't start for another 30 minutes. Who knows? Hiram Lavonos says, why do I get sweaty watching Cops? I get it, man. Whenever Cops is on, I get a little frisky. I get a little antsy as well. I'm like, should I run or do something? Or should I hide my crack under the seat of my car now or later? I get it, man. Whenever you watch Cops, you can just feel the nervousness oozing through the screen. It's great. And my favorite... I like watching Cops episodes from like the mid 1990s. There's just something better about that time period on Cops. I kind of want to go watch Cops right now. Logan X says, John, crazy how fast time goes by. Your review for Fury just popped up on my feed. That was from 10 years ago. Good movie and good times. Well, thanks for that, man. Yeah, you know what's weird? I kind of remember making that review of Fury. Now, I have not watched the movie since watching it in the theater, but, it's kind of, sometimes I go back and watch older YouTube videos of myself and I'm like, I know that's me, but that's a version of me that I like. Who is that person? Would I like that person if I met them today? No, I'd probably punch their teeth down their throat, but I'm glad that it exists on the internet for the rest of eternity. Or until Google deletes it. Someone scream at me if the trailer starts playing of Stranger Things. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from... And by the way, thank you so much, Logan X, for the question, man. Sometimes I'm afraid to go back and watch older reviews that I've made because I'm like, what did I say about this movie? Because now when it comes to reviews, I think a lot about what I'm going to say before I say it. Back then, I didn't do that. All right. The next one comes from Night King 01. What's your opinion on the Count of Monte Cristo? The Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah, he cooked bacon in a pan. The Count of Monte Cristo with Jim Caviezel. I think it's really underrated. I have not seen it in a long time. I remember liking it. I think I watched it on like DVD in 2006 or something, or 7. But I always liked it. I've been meaning to go back and rewatch it again. I like the story itself. Okay, sorry. They're showing a lot of things from Stranger Things right now, so I'm making sure the trailer doesn't start randomly playing. The movie guy says, I watched your very first live stream the other day and had a good old time. Oh, how time flies. So I've done a lot of live streams, various ones. Are you talking about the first official one on this channel from 2019 during COVID? I kind of remember making that, but if you go way back on my other channel, the Flick Pick, I have live streams from like 2000 and 11 on there, or 12, or maybe 13. It's whenever you could start actually doing live streaming on YouTube. Because before that, they didn't have that feature available. So you had to go to like some other website. I forget what it was called, but it sort of sucked. It's Mobby Billy Brown or whatever her name is talking. Anyway, if live streams existed on YouTube in 2010 when I started YouTube, I would have done this right away. This is what I would have liked and preferred to have done. All right. They're showing a lot of behind the scenes clips from previous seasons of Stranger Things, it looks like. All right. Skylar Wheelock says, which actor gave the performance of their career in a movie no one talks about? I'm picking John Ritter from Sling Blade. Ooh, John Ritter was good in Sling Blade. He plays the gay best friend, but man, you're right. He was a good supporting character. But what about, but also on the flip side of that, then you have the, what's the actor's name? He was also in the movie, the David Fincher movie. Oh, God. Hang on. The character Daryl. He plays this like hillbilly stepdad character. He's a complete asshole, but he's unintentionally hilarious in the movie. But man, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't feel like Jake Gyllenhaal ever gets the props he deserves for Nightcrawler. Let's see. Val Kilmer in Tombstone would be one. Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Liam Neeson in Schindler's List. Andrew Garfield in The Social Network. I think that was a pretty good role. Terrence Howard in Hustle and Flow would probably be one of my picks. He embodied the character DJ to perfection. So I'm going to go with that. Dan says, John, please, your take on the whole reptilian disclosure shit. I don't know what the reptilian disclosure is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a conspiracy theorist all the way, but what new thing or information have they released recently? Okay, let's watch this Stranger Things trailer. Is it showing it? That's it. So November 26th, Stranger Things. Okay, so at the very end of it, you had Will going, run, run. Okay. So here's the thing. Does Will make the ultimate sacrifice? That's my question to you guys. What do you think? They played like 10 seconds of it. Yeah, they did. Was that it? Is that all they're showing is 9 seconds of a trailer? I'd show it, but I'm watching Netflix on a TV beside me, and I don't have it signed in on my computer. Wait, hang on. Let me see what I can do here. Hang on. No, I can't. The TV won't reach. So that was it? Is that all they're gonna fucking show? That was it? Okay. Okay. Can I watch that again? Because I don't give a shit about this. Now we're talking about Love is Blind. No one cares. I'm watching it one more time. Yeah, you got like the new kid back there that has a haircut like Hank Hill. The floor pops up and Will just goes, run! That's it. Okay, there's not much to it. But it comes out in November. Man, I was hoping it'd come out in fall or October. October just feels like Stranger Things to me. Let's go to the next question here. Well, that was underwhelming. Yeah, it's 3 volumes. So the first volume is November, then New Year's, and what? Was there another date? Okay. Let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from DJ Run, who says, do you think Will Smith is a good actor? Yeah, I do think Will Smith is a good actor. In The Pursuit of Happiness, I think he's a good actor. I think Will Smith can be a good actor. Claudia Rogajon back here again says, you mentioned comic book debates on X. I'm still seeing people arguing about James Gunn and Zack Snyder and how Snyder should be brought back. Why can't these people let this shit go? His cobbled together version of DC is never coming back. Deal with it. Yeah, I agree. It's probably never coming back. And the whole idea behind it, it was like, it wasn't going to be that mind-blowing, to be honest. I think he had his try. He got to make a handful of movies, and there's a reason he's not making more of them. So I'm with you. I liked Man of Steel. I did. But after that, it didn't feel like they actually had a direction. You need a direction. You need a director to have some direction. Make him a cinematographer on a movie or something. I don't know. Hey, Johnny. This is from Dillypoo, who says, Dillypoo32 says, hey, Johnny, are you ever going to go back to the Zurich Film Festival again? And what the F happened to Crazy Jason? We need some sort of update or something. It's been like 10 years. Dude, I think he just, he's a recluse now. He's happy living his life. I don't know, man. I've heard from him like one time in the last couple years via text message. And that's all I know. I've tried to reach out a few times. They don't call him Crazy Jason for nothing, but I hope he's doing well. And I'm probably never going back to the Zurich Film Festival. The reason I went the first few times was they invited me to go and paid for the plane ticket and the hotel. So I definitely went. It was a good time. I would definitely go back, but I don't know if I'm going to pay thousands of dollars to go back to the Zurich Film Festival, because it's a very small festival and the movies that they show there felt very limited, but I still enjoyed going. It's really cool. But I have been there twice, so I don't really have a strong urge to necessarily go back anytime soon, except if they're watching right now and want to invite me, I'll go. Yeah. But it was a great time. And I met a lot of cool people there. And one of the dudes I met there, and I can pull him up right now, there was a guy I met there who became kind of a popular YouTuber when it comes to the real estate side of things. And he started doing like real estate style videos. I'll show you real quick. His name was Eric Conover. And when I met him in Zurich, he was invited there as well. And he was just like a vlogger who did travel vlogs. He made some cool videos, but then he got into like real estate videos. But the reason I bring him up is we hung out for a couple days there. And then recently he went a bit nuts and a little bit psychotic and went on a high-speed chase and then backed up his Jeep over a police officer, and now he's being charged with attempted murder. But anyway, Eric was a cool guy when I met him back in 2016. So maybe slightly unhinged, but I didn't see this coming. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the Zurich Film Festival. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Skylar Wheelock, who says, looking for films that feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. All I can think of is Nice Guys, Boogie Nights, Tremors with Kevin Bacon. Why does Tremors remind you of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood anyway? And Fred Word, characters with similar dynamic to Rick and Cliff, hangout buddy movies. Oh, sorry. We were talking about hangout buddy movies. Okay. Yeah, that was the one I should have said. Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton are two of my favorite dudes in a movie of all time. I like when they're just hanging out, and I like how different they are. And that scene where they're watching FBI or whatever it was with Rick Dalton, and they're doing some like commentary on top of what they're watching. I think that's a brilliant scene. So yeah, I agree with you on that. The Guard says, are you a fan of comedy movies? Of course I am. What is the funniest movie you know? I'd have to go with Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is funny. But for me, like movies like Superbad always speak to me. Or movies like, I don't know. But I'm also a fan of dark comedy. So what most people don't laugh at, I find like American Psycho to me is a laugh riot. It's a comedy movie. So that would be one. But then again, you know, I like movies like Friday, movies like Big Lebowski. I don't think you like laugh hysterically, but I think they're funny. But with all that said, going back to the dark comedy approach, a couple years ago, I watched the movie Hannibal, which is a sequel to Silence of the Lambs. And there's a scene in there where Hannibal Lecter writes a letter to what's her name's character? Oh my God, Clarice Starling's character. And he says, I've been watching the downward spiral of your career with great enthusiasm. And it's just this most nonchalant asshole narration in the movie. And I found it hilarious. I was laughing so hard I almost wanted to vomit blood. So that's the kind of stuff I find entertaining. But that's just me. What do I know? I've been watching with great enthusiasm from a distance. Ermin Yabber says The Big Lebowski. Bruce Cook says, John, joining you late, did you discuss the phenomenon scheme yet, and do you plan to see it? Or, I'm sorry, the Phoenician scheme? What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is, man. What is the Phoenician scheme? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Someone tell me. Deep Fried Cod says, love your content. So glad you upload more. Well, thanks, man. I'm trying. And by the way, if you guys haven't noticed, sometimes from the live shows, I am uploading clips of some of the main topics we talk about. So if you miss something in the live show or you don't want to watch this for 2 hours, look out for a couple clips the next day after a live show airs. All right, the next one comes from Logan X, who says, John, what height do you mow your lawn? 3 inches, no more, no less? That's funny. I put my riding lawnmower on, it has 5 levels for the deck, and I put it on level 4. So just a notch below the highest. And I do think it probably mows the grass at probably about 3 inches, I'd say. Yeah, about 3 inches. And you want to mow your grass a little bit longer than shorter. It makes for a nice, healthy lawn. Don't say I never tried to help you out. Alex asks the question, thoughts on Last of Us Season 2? Episode 2 and 6 were great. The rest were a bit underwhelming to me. How much time do we have? Okay. Here are my very quick, condensed thoughts on Season 2 of The Last of Us. And without getting into the debate of Bella Ramsey being a great Ellie in the movie or in the series, and if that's a good casting choice, ultimately, I would say probably not. And here's why. Before I dive into what I didn't like about Season 2, first let me say this. I think when it comes to casting someone to play a character that's a pre-established character, you should probably go out of your way to cast someone who's fitting to the role, right? And we're not even talking about physical traits. I'm talking about the emotion, emoting and expressing some of these emotions and making it captivating and visceral. And just the way that she comes across, it doesn't seem like a 19-year-old who's a little bit edgy and maybe slightly unlikable. She kind of has this like 12-year-old kid-like screen presence, and she sounds very young. So when she speaks, it seems like I'm watching a 12-year-old trying to pretend to be a 19-year-old, but I can't get on board with anything they're saying, and just the way the line delivery goes. I'm not a fan of it. I think in the first season that casting choice made sense, but as the character has progressed and gotten older, it makes even less and less sense, okay? So there's that. Let's get that out of the way first and foremost. But let's talk about some of the episodes. I enjoyed the birthday episode with some of the flashback sequences throughout the different birthdays leading up to the present day. I thought that was a great episode, and I liked when they went to the museum. I liked those things. I thought it was cool. But as far as like the season finale goes, and even if I tell you everything that happens, it doesn't even spoil anything, to be honest with you, because it just leaves you off on a cliffhanger, because they need to drag this shit to more seasons. But the one scene where she gets in that little the boat, and she's going on the coastline of Seattle, where she abruptly and obtusely runs into a wave, like a tsunami for no reason. Then she goes to the shore, and thank God, when she's washed out of the boat into the abyss of the sea, her boat uprights itself and just lands on the shore. Well, thank God for that. Plot convenience? Yeah. Then she goes there and meets the cult people for about 3 seconds that are about to hang her and gut her, which if they just would have just finished the job, would be done with it, and we could move on, but they didn't. They hear a loud sound and run away because, well, plot convenience, and that made no sense whatsoever to anything happening. And then she just gets back in her boat and leaves the island and continues on. And to me, that was the laziest bit of writing I have seen in a expensive series on HBO in my entire life, right? Like, I haven't seen that bad of writing in a show that had the production quality and budget behind it since like Game of Thrones season 8. It just made no sense. It was so abrupt and stupid. And I get that they're trying to set something up to happen, and this was like their lazy way to set up that plot point to happen, but there had to have been another way to do this. There could have been something else, anything else. So for me, the season finale was really disappointing. And keep in mind, not only was it disappointing, now we have to wait 2 more years, potentially, to even get a conclusion from that disappointing season finale of season 2 of The Last of Us. And I think there's a clear indication of why viewership is rapidly dropping from the show. It's a multitude of reasons. All right? Who is this show for anymore? At one point, I guess you could say it was for the fans of the game. And as someone who's only kind of played the game here and there and I mostly watch my friends play the game, but I am familiar with the cutscenes. I get it. It's a great story. But at this point, who is this for anymore? I don't know. So, The Last of Us Season 2. Deep Fried Cod says, definitely terrible compared to the game. Deep Fried Cod says, and watch her not kill Abby. Well, the other thing is, when it comes to the show The Last of Us, it feels like they're casting everyone around Bella Ramsey. It's like, well, we know you guys don't like Bella Ramsey, and listen, I get it, whatever. But now they're casting actors and actresses around her that, like, for example, like Abby, to me, there was one scene where she was walking, and it was right before it cuts when she's walking through the stadium, and it looks like a literal screen grab from the game, but she looks more like Ellie than Ellie does in the show. And is there like a coincidence there? I think not. And I feel like they're like trying to appease fans by casting the villain who looks more like the protagonist than the actual protagonist does. Like, flip these 2 casting choices around and maybe that would be beneficial. So, I don't know. Yeah, watch her probably not kill her because she feels some kind of weird guilt about vengeance or something. I don't know. And at this point, what's the other chick doing there that's pregnant? Go home. I'd rather watch a super old 25-year-old play a 19-year-old than watching a girl who looks like she's 10 years old playing a 19-year-old. Doesn't that logic sound better? No? Just me? Okay. Kaylee Spaney for the win. There you go. All right. Yeah, 25 isn't old. 38 is old, okay? Michael Witherspoon has been a member for 41 glorious months. Well, thanks, Michael. Thoughts on Google VO3? It's terrifying how AI is. We talked about that earlier, man. And I went on a long rant about AI, and it scares me. It really does. We are at the point where you should stop. We know where this is going. We have enough AI, right? You can use ChatGPT, you can fix your grammar, come up with a few ideas, write a term paper, what have you. It's good enough. We're done. We're fucking done. Just stop. Pull the plug right now. AI should be outlawed and illegal, okay? It's not... The thing with AI... See, you got me on a rant. You got me on a tangent. The thing with AI is... AI, the initial concept behind this was it was supposed to do things that no one wanted to do. Monotonous, boring jobs that no one wants to do. But it's not necessarily doing those things. It's taking the fun, creative jobs that people want to do and strive to do and can't find enough opportunities to do. It's taking those jobs, which is completely counterintuitive. It's stupid. Flicks You Can Feel says, looking forward to the HBO series. Welcome to Deary. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I'm hoping it's good. I'm curious how they're going to drag out that concept that works in like a 2-hour movie for like a 9-part episodic series. It's like, okay, these better be really good characters in this show. Wing says, I wonder if HBO will F up the Harry Potter series. My wife is the biggest Harry Potter fan on this planet. She knows more about Harry Potter than I think Harry Potter Wiki does. And she's really looking forward to it. And like, I saw the new casting choices for the Harry Potter trio. Oh my gosh, come on. Yeah, so you have the new casting choices here for the new Harry Potter kids right here. And like, I think this is fine. Like, okay. Like he kind of looks like Harry Potter. He looks like the redhead kid, you know, it's fine. I think it's fine. And I saw her audition tape or something like that. Hermione's audition tape, and she sounds like her, and like she kind of has like the hair and the look and the smile. Like, I think the kids are fine. Snape is definitely an interesting casting choice, isn't it? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it makes me miss Alan Rickman as Snape. But here's Snape. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the new Snape? Now, I know nothing about Papo Sandu or whatever. I know nothing about him as an actor. I don't know if I've seen him in a performance before. I'm really genuinely curious on what his take is of the character Snape. So I don't know, man. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Daddy Needs to Chill, who says, John, the judges told me I have small deltoids. What the F? Great line of Magazine Dreams. Gotta work those deltoids, man. Michael Witherspoon says, hey, John, I hope all is well, buddy. Quick question. What is a bigger disgrace, American Psycho 2 with Mila Kunis or Jingle All the Way 2 with Larry the Cable Guy? Also, I never said thank you, and you'll never have to. What is a bigger disgrace? Oh, man. American Psycho 2, I don't think I've ever gotten through the full movie. And Jingle All the Way 2, I don't think I've ever played the movie. So we'll go with Jingle All the Way 2. At least Mila Kunis is more palatable than Larry the Cable Guy. All right, let's go to the next one. Skylar Wheelock says, my favorite part of the final reckoning is when Ethan jumps into the ocean because he might cause World War III if he doesn't move. Laugh out loud. I just love when Ethan is forced to do the most insane things possible because the circumstances call for it. Well, that's why they call it Mission Impossible. But I have a thing. So do you guys remember the rumor that was circulating around a long time ago that the new Mission Impossible, there was supposed to be a scene where Ethan Hunt goes to space? Do you remember that rumor? I really felt like there was an opportunity in the final reckoning for Ethan Hunt to in fact go to space. I really do. And it was this, and no spoilers, but this doesn't really matter. You wouldn't even know what I was talking about if I explained it in detail. But the scene where he has to go to the submarine and you can't be caught in the vicinity of that area because there's patrolling submarines. I thought it would be really cool if the only way Ethan Hunt could infiltrate that area, and it wasn't from a plane, and it wasn't from another submarine, because both of those things would show up on radar. What if Ethan Hunt, in fact, skydived from like a satellite orbiting Earth all the way in the highest point of the atmosphere, all the way down into the ocean? Like hardcore skydive all the way from that point all the way into the ocean. And you could shoot it in like a one-take tracking shot. If you haven't seen the video, there's a video. And what I'm referencing, and this is the kind of shit I think about when I'm in the shower, okay? I just want you guys to know that. I need you to know that first and foremost. But there's a Red Bull video where they skydive, Red Bull skydive space. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Come on, YouTube ad. All right. So this right here. So you have this dude who jumped from like the upper point of the Earth's atmosphere, and he skydives down to Earth, and it's the highest skydive ever recorded. But I'm just saying, Ethan Hunt should have did this shit in the final reckoning, but he should have done it right into the ocean and then immediately scuba dived down to the submarine. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, John, well, he had to get acclimated to the depths of the ocean before he could do it. But he's Ethan Hunt. He doesn't need to do that. And I think he could have got acclimated in some kind of like space device higher above Earth's orbit. I'm just like, he could have been in this thing acclimating to the pressure of the ocean before he did the dive. Like, this could be Ethan Hunt right here. This should have been a scene in the movie. That would have been the most epic stunt ever done. Here we go. All right. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Okay. The next one comes from Keith Andrew Miller, who's... he just subscribed. Well, thanks, Keith Andrew Miller. All right. Quintel says, John, do you have any 2000 to 2015 movie recommendations that are similar to Kick-Ass and Scott Pilgrim that I might have missed? Any recommendations from the first 15 years of the 2000s of movies that are similar to Kick-Ass? Google will be your friend on that one, man. I don't know off the top of my head. You kind of named the two I would think of. Well, Scott Pilgrim. Actually, isn't there another movie just like Kick? What am I thinking of? Let's see. Movies like Kick-Ass. I was going to say Watchmen. Oh, you have Super. Speaking of James Gunn. Yeah, some Marvel movies on here. I don't know, man. Someone put Shaun of the Dead on there. Zombieland? I don't know. I'm sure there's 20 movies I'm not thinking of right now. If anyone wants to help him out in the chat, let me know. Bruce Cook says, wouldn't it be like the scene when Chris Pine skydived in that scene from 2009 Star Trek? Yeah, but this would be cooler. Okay? And it'd be more epic. And it'd actually be practical. Michael Flores says, sorry, John, I'm late for this. That's okay, man. Don't worry about it. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'm probably going to hang out for like another 5-10 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, get your questions in right now. And I'll answer every single one of them. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere just yet. I'm still hanging out. We got some more stuff to talk about. And we have more questions to cover. So I'm just letting you know, if you have any questions, get them in now. Robert Giacanta says, I have to come to agree with you on enjoying mowing the lawn. What is something else you hated doing as a kid that you like doing as an adult? That is interesting. Yeah, man, it's weird. The older you get, the more shit you enjoy that you were. But the thing is, when you're younger, you're forced to do it. It's an obligation. When you get older, it's a sense of pride and accomplishment. Like mowing the lawn gives me a reason to just sit on a lawnmower and think about life and listen to podcasts and Hans Zimmer music, right? Another thing that I didn't, even up until a handful of years ago, I hated doing this. Getting up early was never a thing I enjoyed. I was a vampire of the night. And whenever you're a YouTuber, you sort of have to become that way because the way topical things happen and the way you have to get videos out, working 9 to 5 just does not work in that time frame. But a couple years ago, I started having to get up early. And with that, I started to get an addiction to iced coffee, which I still have. I drink 5 glasses of iced coffee every morning. It's delicious. I love it. But I like getting up early now. Not too early, and not if I'm tired, but relatively early enough to enjoy, the morning. It feels like your whole day's ahead of you. You can hear the birds chirping. There's people outside mowing their grass. The morning dew is still on the lawn. It's beautiful. So I enjoy getting up earlier now than I used to. Kind of a weird thing. And I never used to like that. Flicks You Can Feel says 30 Days of John. Thank you for that. Chris says, I struggle in the morning. I used to, man. I still do. Michael Flores says, hey, John, I just want to let you know, man, you're the best YouTuber on YouTube. Just to let you know. Well, Michael, thank you for that. Thank you for that accreditation. It does mean a lot, man. I don't know if I'm the best. I'm definitely not the biggest. But I will always give you the best video I think I can give you. Even if it's shitty, just know that was the best video I could give you that day. And I'll keep coming with the excuses. Don't worry about that. But I like to say, if you're seeing me, you're having the worst day of your life. Okay, we got one here from the movie guy. Once again, man, movie guy, thank you, man, so much for tonight. Here we go. Black Snape is really dumb, but I hope they commit and make Voldemort wear a clan outfit. Otherwise, it won't work at all. Jesus, man. You trying to get me fucking canceled? What are you doing? Anyway, thanks for the super chat, man. Shit. 7 people just unsubscribed. You hurt 7 people's feelings with that. I want you to know that. It's why this channel will not grow. Movie Geek 90 says, I got 3/4 of a blowjob, but who's counting? See, that's another thing. We're just too crazy on this channel. I got 3/4 of a hand job, but that still counts, okay? Who cares? Fucking cancel me. I don't care. Cancel me. I want it. All right. Let's go to the next question here. No, my channel was at 100,000. But what happened was, one day in the algorithm, it started deleting old accounts. And every time I uploaded a video, I'd lose new subscribers rather than gain them. And sometimes I feel like people on YouTube are a bit fickle, so they unsubscribe. But at the same time, I don't know why you would subscribe and then unsubscribe. I'm doing the same shit I've been doing on this channel for the last 5 years. I don't know. I don't get it. I already have a play button for this channel. I've hit 100,000 subs, but I've lost like 700 in like the last year and a half. So it's this constant battle. It goes up, it goes down. I don't know. At some point, you just stop caring. And when you stop caring, you truly become free. And when you're free, there's no limitations to hold you back. Stranger Things trailer just dropped. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Is it on? Where is it? Is it actually dropped, or is it just on Twitter or something? Here, let me refresh Netflix right here. Oh shit, let's watch it together. You guys ready? All right, let's watch this trailer. And YouTube, don't demonetize me because it's called copyright free blah, blah, blah. All right, let's do it. Here we go. We'll play it small, nice and small. Okay, guys, let's watch the Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. It just dropped. I'm excited. I'm slightly scared. Please don't disappoint me, but I can't wait to watch it.
Think about that night all the time. The night it came for you.
A lot of flashbacks, okay. It all starts with Will. I'm telling you, Will dies in Season 5. He has to. They're showing too much of him not to. I have to pause it there to beat copyright. Just give me a second. We got to beat the copyright. Okay, let's keep going. I miss Billy. I miss Eddie, too. Volume 1, November 26th. Volume 2, Christmas. And then the finale, New Year's Eve. It's pretty epic. Okay, man. Well, hey. It looked like a lot of build-up for Will dying. Just putting it out there. Especially him. I'm looking forward to it. Does anyone else think Will dies? Just putting it out there. So anyway, the most exciting thing about this is, first and foremost, I'm looking forward to this. I'm a hardcore Stranger Things fan. It's probably my favorite TV series outside of Game of Thrones. And the fact that they now finally announced when it's coming out, that gets me excited. I was hoping it would be fall. But, okay, so we got November, then Christmas. So we're going to wait a month there. Then we're going to wait about a week. Okay, that's cool. And I'll be honest with you guys. I don't mind that they're separating this into 3 parts. I really don't. And I would like to binge it all in one sitting and not sleep for 2 days. I would like to do that. But the fact they're sparsing it out, it gives it time to grow, and you get time to like consume it and have a discussion about it. And that's what I miss about TV series. Because with the whole mentality of binging everything, it's like everyone watches it, we talk about it for one day, and then the next day it's like it never existed. So I like that they're separating it. It kind of gives me something to look forward to throughout the winter months. And it also gives people time to watch it and not be spoiled by the season finale. And plus, each one of these are essentially going to be like a feature-length film, each episode. Hey, I thought that looked fine for a teaser trailer. It doesn't really show too much other than Will screaming, "Rotten!" So I think it looks cool. What do you guys think about the new Stranger Things teaser trailer? Daddy Needs to Chill says, I think it looks good. They split it like this. Yeah, I'm happy about the fact that they split it up. I liked when they split up season 4. I like that. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Cliffhanger. I'll wait a couple weeks and I'll watch the rest of it. Fine by me. Gives you something to look forward to. Daddy Needs to Chill also says he dies in this one 100%. Yeah, if he doesn't die, then they're kind of throwing us for a curve. Dustin Rich says, are Stranger Things kids getting SSI Social Security checks yet? They look fine right now. They still look kind of teenager-ish. They look like teenagers with wigs on, but I'm okay with it. It keeps the discussion going. Yeah, absolutely it does. Champion says, I wonder if the showrunners will be cramming VFX works right up until it releases like season 4. Probably. Part of me almost feels like they wanted to release this in October. I really feel like Stranger Things belongs in the fall. It just feels appropriate. So that's a possibility. I think I feel like they had to get this out in 2025. That's why the last episode's going to air on New Year's Eve. Which, by the way, I know what I'm doing New Year's Eve. I'm not going out to celebrate. Nah. Screw all that noise. I'm staying home and watching the finale of Stranger Things. Leave me alone. Alex says, this is sort of just a montage of past seasons. It is, but also you get a few new glimpses of stuff and a little narration on there. And it definitely looks like everything's going to revolve around Will once again, like the first season did. So that's fine by me. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on it. And if you guys have more thoughts about the Stranger Things trailer, please let me know. We got one here. I'm gonna get to all the questions. Don't worry. But this one here from the movie guy says, I like season 1 of Cobra Kai. Season 1 of Stranger Things was something special. The rest is just dumb fun. I hope the last season sticks the landing. I would disagree with that. I think every season of Stranger Things had something to offer. And season 2 was kind of like the same thing that you saw in the first season. But each one had sort of a different vibe and that separated it from each other. Like season 3 was sort of the more comedic, fun one that took place in the mall with like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High vibe. And then season 4 kind of went the Nightmare on Elm Street vibe. And then season 5, I'm not quite sure what the vibe of this one is, but it looks to be the biggest, most epic of every season thus far. All right. And the movie guy also says, if Will and Elle don't die in the last season, it won't be worth it. It better be some sacrifices to save your friends trope. I would enjoy that. Yeah, I think Will has to go. He feels like an outsider. He's coming to terms with being a gay dude, and like he doesn't know where he belongs. He doesn't feel accepted. His friends are moving on. I feel like they're going to do that with Will. I truly believe they are. And if they don't, hey, then by all means, maybe Elle will sacrifice herself. I don't know, or maybe Dustin will do it. But don't kill Dustin. Don't you ever kill Dustin. Maybe Steve. These are his kids. He loves them with all of his heart. Maybe Steve will sacrifice himself. But I don't want to see Steve go either. Or maybe they'll do some kind of weird time paradox thing with the upside down, and then they'll all go back to the time that they had that really nice prom dance at the end of season 2. I don't know. Anything's possible. Who knows? All right. Skylar Wheelock says, I'd like you to rant about this DVD. Was the best thing to happen to movie making. It allowed studios... rant about DVD. It allowed studios to experiment and take risks. Even if movies lost money at the cinemas, it could make its money back. Well, yeah, the thing with when you remove physical media is one equation from a business standpoint, you're taking one revenue stream away. Now, we do have streaming now, which is one revenue stream, but the studios only make so much money from that. But the thing about physical media was you didn't have to have a very successful theatrical run to have a profitable movie. And a lot of comedy movies, a lot of smaller movies, they blew up on DVD or VHS. That's where they made all of their money. And those DVD or VHS rentals necessitated the reason that you got sequels to movies like 3 Men and a Baby, which I never really liked that movie, but we got a sequel, and I think we even got a third movie. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Didn't watch them. So when you remove that, now you only get movies that studios know will have almost a guarantee of having box office returns that make them profitable. So what does that mean? You get only IP movies. You get comic book movies. And that's it. You don't get any new movies that want to take a risk or take a chance. I mean, sure, A24 still pops those out, but they're dwindling year by year. So yeah, I think DVD sales and physical media played a big part in getting new original movies, big and small, because they had a chance at being successful. So another reason I hate I don't hate streaming. I just hate that it killed physical media. That's what I hate about it. And if it were up to me, if I could push a button right now and delete streaming and bring back video rental stores and Redbox stores and physical media, I would do it. I'd much rather have that version of life than this current version. Because let's ask yourself this. Do you feel like made-for-streaming movies are good movies? And would you like every movie to feel like a made-for-streaming movie? I know I wouldn't. So let's not keep going down that path. It's kind of like AI. You know, it's only going to get worse. Okay. All right, guys. What else did you guys have to say? Dustin Rich says, I've only seen the first season of Stranger Things. I liked it, but canceled my Netflix and never continued. Is it worth getting Netflix? Yeah, man. Or legally download it. Do whatever you want. But yeah, I love Stranger Things. It speaks to me. Did anyone ask for another Karate Kid? I think they were just capitalizing on the Cobra Kai as much as they possibly could. And it's like after 8 seasons of Cobra Kai, or how many we've gotten, it's like we get it. We get it. Cobra Kai, karate, we got it, man. How much more of this shit can we possibly do? I feel like they jumped the shark 4 seasons ago. So I don't know if anyone was quite asking for it. I feel like had something like Karate Kid Legends come out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, when Cobra Kai was still like in season 3, I think it would have been more interesting and the hype would have been surrounding it a bit more. But at this point, what else do we have to say in a Karate Kid movie? Triple Frontier doesn't feel like a straight to streaming movie. Triple Frontier to me felt like an instantly forgettable movie with what could have been a somewhat interesting plot, but a terribly executed film. That to me felt like a streaming movie. It really, to me, it did. Dustin Rich says, did you ever rent an erotic movie from a video store and feel awkward when checking out? I've never rented an erotic movie from a video store. I can safely say that. Now, when I was younger, I downloaded many erotic movies on LimeWire and essentially destroyed my family's computer with a multitude of viruses. Sorry. All right. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the live show right there on downloading illegal porn and getting viruses on your family's computer. But anyway, I'm glad we finally got to watch the Stranger Things trailer together, at least the new one. It didn't show much, but hey, at least we know when it's officially coming out. So that's good news. All right, guys, those are my quick thoughts. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. And look out for another live stream next week. I will announce it ahead of time, so keep a lookout. And if you guys missed it, definitely check out my Karate Kid Legends review that I shot in the movie theater parking lot over on my main channel, The Flick Pick. The link is down below. But Joey Ruiz, Lord of the Rings, has one last question here, and he asks, have you thought about filming your yard work and lawn advice? I find it therapeutic when you speak of landscaping and riding a lawnmower. I have had a few ideas, but to do that, I feel like I'd have to start another channel, and at most, I would probably start like a TikTok account dedicated to it. But at the same time, it's not like I'm in my yard every day. Sometimes I am, but a lot of the projects I've wanted to complete, I already have. But I did have a really good idea for when I was on my riding lawnmower to make a TikTok channel for. So it's a possibility. And the older I get, the more I'm going to transition into that guy. The guy who has a TikTok channel on his riding lawnmower. Yes, I will be that guy. But thanks for the question, man. And I'm not opposed to it. I really am not. And I need to mow my grass tomorrow. So as always, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.